My God, why have you forsaken me? I groan in prayer, but help seems far away. My God, I cry out during the day, but you do not answer, and during the night my prayers do not let up. The human subconscious is a dark abyss that hides away the gruesome aspects of ourselves that we never wish to see. While the conscious mind can repress these aspects of ourselves, while it sleeps, the subconscious can seep up, twisting our dreams into nightmares, filled with visions of what we try to hide from ourselves. All the worse are the images inflicted by a guilty conscience upon an already unhinged mind. We awaken as Thomas Smith, a man whose nights are plagued by nightmares. An unreliable narrator in the extreme, we follow Thomas as he travels through a number of increasingly deranged nightmares. The focus of his mania appears to be a series of female characters, all of whom could be the same person or several different people, confused by the mire of his nightmares. His sister as a child, his sister as an adult, his wife, his psychiatrist, and his daughter. All of these characters are confused, twisted, and used interchangeably as Thomas spins deeper and deeper into depression and obsession. As he continues, we see a number of grotesque themes play out again and again. Thomas repeatedly engages in self-mutilation, specifically in the destruction of his hands and arms. The characters of his wife, daughter, and sister appear to take on whatever roles will unnerve him the most, from being victims of brutal violence to engaging in it themselves. Hanging and disembowelment are common themes in these dark halls, and the fight to the deepest parts of the nightmare leave us with even more questions. But what really happened? With Thomas acting as an unreliable narrator, how can we know what the true story is? I have a theory that involves some speculation, but it is anchored in parts where Thomas is actually awake, or as confident as we can be that he is truly awake. In the final descent ending, we see Thomas's true family portrait. In it are pictured Thomas, his wife, and his daughter. We learn that after their daughter's tragic death, Thomas fell deeper and deeper into depression and madness. His wife leaves him and he continues to spiral downward. From there we go to the destroyed dreams ending, where Thomas awakens in a hospital. His arms are bandaged and bloodied. I think that given the themes of his dream, it's most likely that he attempted suicide by cutting his arms open, but was saved before he died. In the third ending, Wayward Dreamer, we find that in the depths of the otherwise horrific nightmare, Thomas shares a gentle and intimate moment with who we now can be more confident is his daughter. This ending seems to represent Thomas coming to peace with his daughter's death in some way, perhaps even moving on. But that's not truly the end of the story, although this part falls more and more into speculation. How did young Gabby die in the first place? Early in the game, we see that she is stabbed by what we later learn is young Thomas, but this simply cannot be. In later dreams, we find her dead at a park, having been murdered by an unknown assailant. Although we can find both a child and adult version of Gabby stabbed in the park, I believe that the true Gabby was murdered as a child. We see on the tombstone 1878 to 1884, which would make her 6 years old. Along with the endings, this seems to corroborate that interpretation. I think that Gabby was murdered in the park while she and Thomas were taking a walk. He looked away for a moment and lost track of her. When he finally found her again, she was dead. No killer to be found. Nothing. His wife did not blame him, but Thomas could not forgive himself. Having been, or at least seeing himself as a weakling since childhood, Thomas's mind is racked by a spiraling depression. He considers his own inadequate hands just as guilty of his daughter's death as her unknown killer. Unable to handle her husband's insanity, his wife leaves him, which causes Thomas to spiral even deeper into darkness. Finally, he enacts what he thinks must be done to make things right, by slitting his wrists. In the stained glass of Jesus crucified, we see the quote, "In somnis veritas," in sleep, truth. Perhaps he was only trying to fall into a deep sleep in search of the truth behind his daughter's death. Perhaps he sought some ultimate truth through ultimate sleep. Regardless of his intentions or how extreme his methods appear, his plans seem to have worked. In the depths of the nightmare, at the lowest level, there is a brief calm in the storm. The visions of blood and gore part, and we see Gabby for the last time, neither tortured nor feral, but sleeping calmly. Thomas gives her one final sweet kiss before returning to the waking world. And with this, Thomas is able to achieve some degree of closure. Unlikely as it seems, this grim tale seems to begrudgingly give away a happy